Welcome, Mugi ji.
Hi, Mugi. Yeah, he's there. So
Good
many
evening.
artists after such a long time.
Good evening, Mr. Mugi.
You're mute. You just
Hi,
now
sorry,
you can
Hi.
it's still mute. How you doing, Mr. Chopra, Professor Lakshmi,
yeah.
Harjinder? How you doing?
Yes, I'm fine, absolutely fine. And how are
Fine,
you
good.
doing?
Alhamdulillah. Fine, good.
Good evening, Dev Nair, sir.
Yes, yeah, yes.
Our Anubhav Shiksharthi, he was studying with me at Allahabad.
Amalji, how are you?
Yeah, fine, Anubhav. Fine.
ਤੁਸੀਂ great ਹੋ ਯਾਰ I tell you so much.
So as per our tradition, we will start right in the time. Today's topic is very exciting, you can say. Artificial intelligence. There can be bets that if machine will be more intelligent or the man will be intelligent in the coming time. So friends, welcome. So nice to see you during this pandemic time. I'm thankful to you all for showing interest in the series of virtual meetings. Established in 1953, AIFMP draws its strength from various regional associations spread across the country. Being the largest printers association in the world, at AIFMP, we feel it is our abundant duty to guide the printers about the latest developments and change they are going to face in the coming days, especially after longest ever lockdown. AIFMP is committed for the growth and development of the printing and packaging sector. I was talking about the series of virtual meetings by AIFMP. As already said, these meetings are being conducted to educate the printers about the probable change they are going to face while restarting their business after pandemic. These meetings are being organized in association with the top printing institution or universities of India. As I already quoted, today we are going to discuss artificial intelligence, popularly known as AI, for the print business. AI is yet another most noticeable change. I was talking about the change, which will revolutionize the business, print business, and our lifestyle and every other business. Industry 4.0, which is the current trend of automation and data exchange in manufacturing technologies. It includes cyber physical system, the Internet of Things, and cloud computing. Industry 4.0 creates what has been called a smart factory. And AI is the key tool for the fourth industrial revolution. Days are not far when you will be able to run and get production from your remote located machines sitting at another place. As already said, AIFMP is committed to educate the printers about the things to come or how to make use of these technologies for improvement of the business. Change is inevitable and we must be prepared to accept and adopt it. I can just cite an example. The viewers of the age of 50 or above, they can testimony these facts. Now we all have the cell phone in every pocket. No one would have dreamed about this wireless phone just less than 26 years back. I would like to remind you that it was the 31st July 1995 when Industrial Union Telecom Minister Mr. Sukhram and the Chief Minister of West Bengal, Jyoti Basu, established the first mobile phone call in India on Nokia mobile phone. Minimum phone call rate at that time, I'm talking about minimum rates, range from rupees 8.40 paisa per minute, and above all, we have to pay for both outgoing and incoming. During peak hour, the cost went to 16.80 paisa per minute. But mind it, after adding the inflation of 25 years, in the present time, the rate would have been rupees 42 and rupees 80.40 paisa for these cars per minute. But due to the change, today almost every Indian has the mobile in his pocket. And our telephonic costs are next to the fraction of the what was back at that time. Calling comes free, while data costs less than rupees 4 per gigabyte. And now we are waiting for the 5G. The 5th generation mobile network enables a new kind of networking that is designed to connect virtually everyone and everything together, including your machines, cars, objects, and devices. Have you ever thought of these kind of changes? I'm especially asking this question to the people who is 50 years or above, because less than that, they say in our childhood, we have already seen these things. So have you ever thought of this type of change? Similarly, with the use of AI, the system and style of business, our living style, I already said, and the production is going to be changed drastically. Experts are today here who are going to reveal these facts. I was just waiting for some moments. I'm thankful to the management of Avinashi Lingam University for Women, Coimbatore, for the support they have extended for today's virtual meeting. I'm obliged with the presence of Dr. Mrs. T.V. Geeta for being kind enough to accept our request to the chief guest and to inaugurate and to deliver her keynote address. The well-known speakers for today's seminar are Mr. Surya Ramanathan, Mr. Ashish Mittal, and Mr. Balaji Logatan. Please adopt their vision for the growth of your business. The topic today is very interesting, and you all must be waiting to listen to these experts. So I'll not take much of your time, and would like to invite the dynamic personality of print world. Her jargon is proud to be printer, and who is kind enough to accept our request to moderate today's event. Dr. T.K.S. Lakshmi Priya, PhD in computer science, has developed deep love for printing industry and heads the Department of Printing Technology at Avinashi Lingam Institute for Women, Coimbatore. She has over 30 national and international publications to her credit. Dr. Lakshmi Priya strongly believes in the need for the strong bond between academia, industry, and the government to foster the future generation of our nation. She has been associated with almost all the activities of AIFMP. She is also the Governing Council member of All India Federation of Master Printers. And also she has also worked for the prestigious Print Olympic contest since 2014. And she has also been associating OPS Print Wonder contest. So I will not take your time. Over to you, Dr. Lakshmi Priya, for conducting today's proceeding. Dr. Lakshmi
Thank you,
Priya.
Kamalji. Thank you. It's a pleasure being here in AIFMP web series. At the outset, I would like to welcome you all to this web series. The AIFMP web series 2021 is being carried out with the collaboration of the academic institutions, and I belong to the Avinashi Lingam Institute, as Kamalji has just introduced me. I take the honor of welcoming the participants, guests here. We have people pan-India. We have people from AIFMP, from all corners of India. We also have international printers participated here. I am honored to welcome you all. I welcome our chief guest, Dr. T.V. Geeta ma'am, and the speakers who are the panelists of this web series, Mr. Surya Ramanathan, Mr. Ashish Mittal, and Mr. Balaji Loganathan. Hearty welcome to one and all. We have the academic members also here, faculty members from printing institutes, both the engineering institutes as well as the diploma colleges, We have faculty from there. We have students also from the printing technology colleges. A grand welcome to you all. We hope that you have a lot of information to gain from today's webinar. A small introduction about my institution. The Avinash Institute for Home Science and Higher Education for Women, a deemed university, is located in Coimbatore. Our founder, Dr. T.S. Avinash, is a Padma Bhushan. He is the first education minister of Madras Presidency. He was a philanthropist, he was the freedom fighter, and during the times of Gandhi, he had participated a lot in the freedom fighting. A little bit about our department. The Department of Printing Technology is 25 years old, and one of the key points about us, the uniqueness about our institution among the very few institutions offering printing across India is that we groom girls, only girls. And our vision itself says we are trying to make the printing engineers to become successful entrepreneurs, responsible citizens, or efficient employees. Our founder has started two major institutions. One is the Ramakrishna Mission Vidyalaya in 1930. You can see the founding stone being laid, and Gandhi has been with him during the founding stone laying ceremony. This was handed over to the Ramakrishna Mutt after the passing away of our founder. The second institute that he started is the Sharadalaya campus, the Avinash University, which today operates in two campuses, and we, the School of Engineering, are located in the second campus. So we are moving over to our web series of the day. I have the honor of introducing to you the course of our web series. We will start off with TV Geeta ma'am giving us the wow factors of AI. Being printers, we need to have small introduction into what AI is and how it will benefit business and entrepreneurs. Next, we will move on to the first panelist, Surya, who will be talking to us about AI, how vital it is for printers. The second speaker, Mr. Ashish, will tell us how printers can deploy AI in our presses and companies. And the third speaker, Balaji, will be talking to us about AI for process monitoring. There is a natural sequence in the speakers' topics that have been identified for today, and I hope all of you are benefited from these sessions. Now, I take the honor of introducing our chief guest, Dr. TV Geeta ma'am. She is a PhD in natural language processing in 1992 itself. She has been the HOD of Computer Science Department and Dean of College of Engineering Guindy, Anna University, Chennai. There are a number of achievements that ma'am has done, but I am listing a few of them here. She has over 230 publications and awards over 6 right from 1988 onwards. She is a member of several committees, starting from NBA, sectoral committee, governing council, academic council of various institutions and organizations. And to see the projects that ma'am has done, over 660 lakhs of funded projects worth she has done from AICTE, IGCAR, and other organizations. So we are honored to have you here, ma'am. We would like to hear you. Over to you.
Very good evening to all of you. Kamal sir, and thank you, Lakshmi Priya, for this opportunity. I'm looking at finding AI applications, realistic applications for many areas. So you gave me an opportunity to look at printing. I actually taught the first batch of AI way back in 1983. And I have still not lost the magic I find in AI. So growing with the years, and I still find the magic. And now more on to machine learning, but it's a sub part of AI. So this is a very interesting area, even for people who have had experience in it for 35 years. So now let's start my. I hope. See, I'm not going to go into the definitions and technicalities of AI, Because for people who want to apply AI, there are a lot of tools available. You have to learn that. I'm not going to go into that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just give you a glimpse of what is AI, then show you what AI is capable of, the typology. Sorry, Lakshmi, there's some comments.
Okay.
The type of applications you can do. And then in the middle of the lecture, for about 1 to 2 minutes, I'm going to ask you to think of some applications. So that's, if it was a full-fledged web seminar, I would have asked you to submit it, but I can't do that now. So I hope you think about it. Then I will try to show you how to map that to printing applications. This is my talk for the 15 minutes that I have. So let's start off. What is AI? The study of modeling of human mental functions using computer programs. This is a definition given by Collins Dictionary. So it is two words that are there, artificial and intelligence. Anything which is not natural and created by humans is called artificial. Intelligent means ability to understand, reason, plan, and so on. So any code, technology, or algorithm that enables machine to develop or demonstrate human cognition or behavior is called artificial. This is a very, very non-technical view of what is AI. So, So AI refers to the simulation of human machines that are programmed to think like humans and mimic their actions. Now, this is very far-fetched actually. AI tries to mimic, does not do what a human being, thankfully, because otherwise we will be redundant, right? So thankfully it needs a lot. It's not something magical. It's not black magic. It's it can do only what we humans ask it to do. But there are a lot of issues today. Today, one of the areas of lot of scope research is ethical AI, which is whether you are giving the correct data or skewed data to the data. If you give wrong, you get the results wrong. It's not the problem with the AI technology. It's the problem with the humans you give that. So that is a issue. But then there are a lot of useful applications. Any technology for that matter, it rests on the human, how we use it. The term may also be applied to any machine that exhibits traits associated with the human mind, such as learning and problem solving. The ideal characteristic of AI is its ability to rationalize and take actions that have best chances of achieving a specific goal. So this is basically what AI is. So today, AI, when I started teaching AI, I'm old enough to stay AI when I started teaching. So AI was more of rule-based system, intelligent rules. And if you give a new situation, it should be able to apply the rules and give you the answer. But today, those rules is very domain, it is very, very limited in application. So they came a subset of AI, which is called machine learning. So machine learning needs lots of data. Okay, so experience, what they say in machine learning, is nothing but data. So machine learning is a subset of AI that focuses on providing algorithms with the ability to complete tasks without explicit instructions, allow them to adapt to the presence of new data. So you give old data, train a model, and then when you give new data, you'll be able to work. Machine learning is programming computers to optimize a performance criterion using example data or past experience. But it's actually data. Now there is a catch here. When you want the system to actually behave correctly or with the new data, you have to give it the correct old data, okay? Correct features and all that. So luckily, we humans are very much in the picture. So, okay. So subset of AI, which uses statistical methods to enable machines to improve with experience. So it enables a computer to act and take data-driven decisions to carry out a certain task. So the idea is it will try to learn with experience and improve over time. So let's talk my definitions. Okay. So some of the quotes that we have about AI by different people. AI could make the world a better place. Okay, this is by Fee Lee, of the computer science professor at Stanford. He says, I imagine a world where AI is going to make us work more productively, live longer, and have cleaner energy. So it's a very positive aspect of AI that I've only taken the positive. There's a lot of negative also. There's ethical aspects. The goal of AI is to I don't know whether you can see my face. It's not important because my power has gone. So the goal of AI is to give better customer service, which is very, very important in any industry, including your printing industry. One of our big goals, this Larry Page, he's a Google co-founder, and people who have studied AI, there are some people, I think one of my own students is giving a talk. So Larry Page is the PageRank algorithm person, which is responsible for the success of internet and all that. So Larry Page he says one of our big goals is in search, the information retrieval, is to search. We all use Google search, okay? That really understands exactly what we want and understands everything in the world. As computer scientists, we call that artificial intelligence. So if you want to search, magically it will give. You know how many hours research scholars and even teachers spend on searching. Okay, if you're a good researcher, if you want to be a good researcher, you should know how to search. So if that intelligence can be taken by and given to search engines, it is a good customer service. AI will help make sense of data. So throughout the business world, every company these days is basically in the data business, and they're going to need AI to slice and digest big data and make sense out of it. Big data without AI is a big headache. One of the AI success is vice versa. It's also because of big data. So he is Kevin Kelly, co-founder of Wired. Now, and then AI becomes part of a technology company. So every serious technology company now has an AI team in place. These companies are investing millions into intelligence system for situation assessment, prediction analysis, learning-based recognition system, conversational interfaces. I think someone today is going to talk about this chatbot and recommendation engines. So companies such as Google, Facebook, Amazon aren't just employing AI, but have made it a central part of their core intellectual property. Okay, so why I told these quotes are, each of these things makes sense to a printing company. You can think of it. So AI could make the world a better place. How can my printing technology be used to make the world a better place? Okay, maybe by reducing paper usage, by having, improving productivity, okay, and so on. Maybe trying to give your printers less tension, last minute tension, night tension, by making the process a little more intelligent. The goal of AI is to give better customer service for any industry. This is very true. So please start thinking, okay, what exercise I gave you something to do. So how do I improve my customer service? Okay, suppose you have a long-term customer. From the conversations you have with through some social media, your mail, your WhatsApp, whatever it is, can a system analyze this and tell you what the customer satisfaction level is? Okay, or can it predict what the customer is likely to go into, which printer, which accessory he's going to go to when he gets a chance in the next budget? Okay, assuming no pandemic. Okay, otherwise it goes for a toss. And then AI will help make sense of data. What data are we talking about? In your printing, what do you mean by data? Printing industry, what does it mean to have data? Okay, and how to go about it. I'm not talking about 3D print, 3D or 4D. AI becomes part of a technology company. So all those printing companies that do not have an expert, beware. So you need to go. But there's a caveat here, that just having an AI person who does not understand anything of the printing industry, no use. You have to think in terms of the domain. So whether it is better for a printing technology person, I'm not meaning he studied printing technology, but who experience in printing technology or printing industry, he should understand AI, or is it for AI people to understand printing? I'm not very sure. Okay, so both are needed. There has to be a common communication between these two groups. Otherwise, this doesn't work. Okay, so all these 4 points I've taken specifically to tell you that all these are applicable to any industry, including the printing industry. Now let us look at, this is a very non-technical view of, a typology of AI applications. So one is monitoring, can rapidly analyze large amounts of data and detect abnormalities and patterns. So where does this come in your industry? Detecting credit card fraud. This is one of the applications that people keep on telling. Credit card fraud, because trying to find an abnormality. This is true for even medical diagnosis when they try to find cybersecurity intrusions, early warning signs of illness, that is, or important changes in the environment. So now start thinking, where will you apply, where is monitoring application in the printing industry? Okay. So if you think of that, then you get your application. Now discovering. Discovering is, it can extract valuable insights from large data sets, often referred to as data mining, and discover solutions through simulations. So this uses dynamic models which can learn and adapt from the data. So it's very effective in uncovering abstract patterns you did not know existed. It could be about a customer's printing requirements period of 3 years. Where does it could be something like that. I'm just telling off whether you deal with that, but I'm just telling. So discovering something like that, where in which period of time he's likely to have a need for printing requirements. Okay, for example, in a university, it could probably be just before the admission, or just before the exams, or during the exams, for example. Then the third thing is, so that's a general application of discovering. Predicting, so AI can forecast or model how trends are likely to develop in the future, thereby enabling system to predict, recommend, and personalize responses. Example here is Netflix recommendation algorithm analyzes uses. You can adapt this to printing. Users' viewing histories, and other factors to suggest what are the new titles that they may like. So it could be a movie, or it could be a series, or whatever it is. Data intensive applications such as precision medicine, forecasting stand to benefit from this use of AI. So we have seen 3: monitoring, discovering, predicting. The next is interpreting. So AI can interpret unstructured data, information that is not easily classifiable, such as images, video, audio. Images, please remember, your printed images can be really, you can find a defect in that probably, capable of analyzing dramatically more kinds of information. For example, AI helps smartphone, as Kamalji was saying, smartphone applications interpret voice instructions to schedule meetings, diagnostic software to analyze X-rays to identify aneurysms, and software to rapidly analyze code decisions relevant to a particular case. So if I'm having a case, I should be able to analyze all the code decisions, previous one, and take that. So if you look at this, we have monitoring, discovering, predicting, interpreting. These are 4. We're going to go for some more also. Another typical AI application, typology of AI applications, is interacting with the physical environment. So AI can facilitate a diverse range of machine to environment interactions that allow autonomous systems to directly engage with the physical environment. For example, autonomous vehicles analyze huge amounts of real-time data from an array of sensors, cameras, GPS systems, and can find a safe and efficient route. So that's an application of the computer or the AI system interacting with the physical environment. Then it can also interact with people. For example, AI can allow humans to interact more easily with computer systems. So you can adjust their, interact with machines by adjusting their behavior. This is a chatbot application. So for example, individuals can ask questions of AI-powered chatbots by having a conversation or it can beckon a robot to come over with a nod or a wave. So it could be talking or it could be signing. So this is interacting with people. Then interacting with machines. So the AI machines, software and machines, could interact with other machines. So AI can automatically coordinate with complicated machine-machine interactions. So for example, a control system for a data center can use AI to continuously monitor computing activity, internal temperature and environmental conditions, and make adjustments to the cooling systems to optimize performance. This ability allows for multiple separate AI systems to coordinate with each other. So it could be autonomous tasks, trucks or robots or so on. So in each of this, there are other applications also. I have put here what are the type application here. So preventing breakdowns before they happen. It could be to a large printer, it could be to a robo system, it could be to an automobile, it could be to an aeroplane. So use of machine learning to monitor machine component interface through network sensors in real time to detect early warning signals that the machine might be breaking down to prompt maintenance. This is very important application. So servicing machines before they break is most cost effective. For example, predict when maintenance is needed. Faster than traditional methods, this is, and saving in maintenance costs. Intelligent manufacturing to automate industries. So this is our manufacturing facility that relies on 1,000 networking manufacturing units automatically coordinating. So this is making it autonomous so that human employees can concentrate on other things. So this is an example of maximizing oil well performance, for example. So again, you have network sensors and so on. So this is industrial operations, improving supply chains with market forecasting. So you can forecast what are the needs. I'm just rushing up a little because so making industrial design smarter, this is very important. Engineering software company, I have not spoken about printer applications specifically, develop computer-aided design and drafting software called that was uses AI to automatically generate industrial designs based on a designer's specific criteria such as function, cost, and material. So it could actually bring in lots of material. Designs that meet the same criteria, and it could do this. Now, learning how to keep customers happy. So Zendesk, they develop a tool called satisfaction prediction that uses machine learning to evaluate customer service interactions and predict how satisfied a customer is. So satisfaction prediction is applicable in all places. And then office assistance automation is another application. Helping consumers buy what they like and giving students feedback in real time. So if you think carefully, can you apply AI to printing using monitoring, using discovering, it could be a combination of all. I've shown you an industrial application where it is a combination. Predicting, interpreting, interacting with physical environment, interacting with people, interacting with fabrication. Print can be on any materials like paper, metal, glass, plastic, ceramic, PCB, and many more. So they have different properties: stretchable, flexible, deformable, and so on. So there are defects or different types. Some of the examples are print inconsistency, print growth. I'm not very much, don't ask me details, I can make out what it means. So you can have a sensor that takes a picture when if it's a, for example, on the conveyor belt, it triggers the camera and the image is captured. Once it's captured, it can give a result, whether it's a good picture, pass signal automatically, not by inspecting it physically. So another one is security threats defense. See, there are a lot of applications where you do confidential material. So it's not AI itself can create an attack. So whether you can combine machine learning with AI, which will allow printers to create network analytics and real-time anomaly detection. Digital automation, so robotic process automation. So this comes into play where many organizations still use documents to keep records. So this is where this RPA comes into play. It accompanies AI and is a type of software that replaces the actions of humans to run the business process. So whatever business process you're doing, whether you can do a little bit intelligent automation, though it's not wholly AI, it is a integration with humans. IoT and AI for printing industry. So the Internet of Things is where products and appliances automatically connect to other appliances or service center through the internet. So printers are connected to computers, but it's increasingly common to see printers that connect to smartphones, enabling service such as printing on the go. The IoT will enable consumers to purchase print products by interfacing with other products. So when I'm buying a computer, whether automatically it can, give the correct printer, or when I'm even when I'm advertisement, they have used a printing. You have seen a printer picture. You want to buy a similar printer. So these type of IoT will enable that. Companies that offer print-on-demand services will experience the most growth in this aspect. Then IoT also means that printers will be able to use AI to know when they run out of ink, paper, or spare parts, and automatically order these needed supplies. So it can also allow facial and voice recognition, and printing equipment with machine learning capabilities and increased customization will result in increased customization, optimization, and customer personalization. So now let's come to the current area, 3D printing. The biggest use cases for AI in additive manufacturing lie in enhancing design and improving the efficiency of the printing processes. So improving prefabrication, printability checks, reducing the complexity involved in the process, reducing the talent threshold for manufacturing industries, and cybersecurity. So defect detection is one. So there is one could further optimize the printing process and help avoid errors. So there is one particular AI build, a company based in London, that has developed an automated AI-based 3D printing technology with a smart extruder allowing to detect problems. So their AI maker is a high precision robotic end effector that attaches to robotic arms and is able to print 3D large objects at high accuracy. Next important thing in 3D printing is precision and reproducibility. So AI could also be a solution for one of the biggest challenges in additive manufacturing, the need for greater and reproducibility in 3D printed parts. So a new model building algorithm and computer application for geometric accuracy control. So all this comes with the printer printing part allowed. So quickly corrects computer-aided design models, ensure printed parts conform more closely to the design, leads to improved consistency. And that means even on a different machine, it should give the same part and create, the correct accuracy, complete complex designs. And the next and final thing I'm going to talk about is towards 4D printing. So the fourth dimension, what does it mean? It means that over time, static objects will transform and adapt. So 4D object consists of smart materials, energy source, and precise positioning control. So some materials change physical property upon energy input, materials expand upon heat, or materials bend upon electrical energy. This is what is used for the transforming of objects. Natural energy source such as heat pressure is used for the energy source, and controlling the energy source with current electromagnetic wave, and arrange transformative material in precise angle position and use a 3D printer. So these are the two places where AI will come into play in the 4D printing. So with this, I hope I'm ending my talk here. I hope I've given you some thought, some food for thought, so to say, especially to the printing industry specialist who has to decide where they want to use AI. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Geeta ma'am. You started off beautifully with the definition. And then there was a wonderful link between the definition and what we printers have to do. You've connected it to that. From the definition, you give us an idea of what kind of applications are there for printers to start using. And then beautifully, you've given us the typology talking about monitoring, discovering, predicting. Of course, immediately we are thinking about quality control and then customer satisfaction and things like that. There is a wide range of printers in our participant group here, starting from small to big printers. We have designers to large manufacturers, packaging companies also here. So I think each one of them would be able to connect these wide range of options available in AI for themselves. And there is also scope for 3D and 4D printing is another opening that you have identified. Thank you very much, ma'am. It was a great session. We are honored to have you here.
Thank you.
Let me introduce the first speaker of the day, Mr. Surya Ramanathan, Associate Director, PXD AI, Chennai. He is a BE Computer Science and Engineering graduate from College of Engineering, Guindy, Anna University, Chennai, and MS Business Analytics in IIT's Truart School of Business, PG program from Great Lakes. He has a connection with the printer family. He is the son of Mr. Sendilnathan, Dotline Data Chennai, who is presently the president of the Print Forum, Printing Technologies Forum. So we have here Mr. Surya, who will be talking to us about why is AI vital in printing and how we can leverage it. Over to you, Surya.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thanks a lot for the introduction. And I think it was a very good introduction also by Mrs. Stevie Geeta, ma'am. Just to give you like a heads up, I mean, I know you've just introduced, but I also wanted to highlight that while I did my undergraduation in CEG, in College of Engineering, I studied under TV Geeta, ma'am. And then I pursued my higher education in Master of Science in Business Analytics and Intelligence. So touch base on AI extensively in my graduation, also work in an AI-based product. So Unbox is a company where we primarily do e-commerce personalization, e-commerce recommendation, and e-commerce search. And that's where like my knowledge in AI is from. And coincidentally, I also have like a good understanding of printing, thanks to my dad, who's been in the business for 30 years. So what I'm trying to do is while TV Geeta ma'am has given you guys a complete idea of what artificial intelligence is and giving you like a strong idea of how it can be utilized on a daily basis, how it is getting utilized on a daily basis. What I'll try to focus on is where we see these AI elements used on a daily basis in the print industry. And it's like you could say AI has already crept into the industry extensively. You see certain areas where artificial intelligence plays an important role, a very vital role, whereas certain areas, of course, are gaining traction. And we'll probably see them utilize artificial intelligence to a great extent in the upcoming years. And the entire flow chain, as you can see, starts from how you start making decisions. You start doing some planning, and once you get a job, even before that, even when you set up the business, you probably have made some smart decisions. How these decisions help increase your cost efficiency, reduce paper wastage, and help improve your revenue are all a part of the first segment, which is even before designing and pre-printing. The second aspect of this is where you receive a job and you start designing, which is the first step of creating that image, even before, say, if you're in offset printing, before you start making a plate. If you're in digital, even before you send this data to the machine. And how you can start leveraging artificial intelligence to make your life a lot more easier. How you can design effectively, creatively in very less time. And from there is how you can start using AI to great extents in pre-printing. And when you start talking about pre-printing is everything that includes those manual tasks which can be automated to increase quality and efficiency. We also have workforce automation, which is not, as of now, used to a great extent. We don't see this, especially in countries like India, but this is getting traction a lot. How you could automate those tasks using machines instead of humans. And lastly, we'll touch base briefly about predictive maintenance as well. How you can predict issues even before they come up, and what those issues are we see on a daily basis. How these issues will probably in the future, in the very near future, how they can be predicted and we can save a lot of money. But that's to give you like in a nutshell what we'll probably be covering for the next 15 odd minutes. I'll quickly start off with the first aspect, which is how and what smart decisions can be taken. What can we do on a daily basis and how this can be optimized to a great extent. For example, the first thing that I as a printer do is I look at the current printing pipeline. Let's just say this is a designer that you have. How would it be if the designer now looks at the current printing pipeline, the pipeline that's ready, these are jobs that are ready to go in your offset machine or digital machine, and how you can probably use AI dynamic models which recommend layouts and suggestions to reduce paper costs, right? Using AI models, you probably automatically choose, this is a huge concern. This is, of course, like some companies already have started using this. They've built their own products. We see them utilizing and leveraging other products, but we can go into nitty-gritties, right? Like, for example, what are the jobs currently in your pipeline, and I combine them for cost efficiency. When designing and plating is done, and there are several jobs now waiting with the printer, how you can use AI and ML models to combine multiple relevant jobs. Maybe you have a look at the layouts and borders, you have a look at the paper size, you have a look at the paper standard, the type of paper, is it art or maplitho? And now you can combine a bunch of jobs, and then you run in order to, of course, minimize the printing waste and optimize paper space as such, right? On top of this, there are so much more decisions that can be taken. For example, at the time of printing, automatically apply different document layouts to minimize printed waste is another way in which this can be done. There are also so many tools. Of course, there's so many products, and easy pricing can be done for all those software-based products, right? I have like an employee cost that I have to pay. I have like a profit that I want to make, and software price setting is very easy. But cost and price estimation, like giving quotes, is kind of like very difficult in the print industry. And a huge challenge is because of the multitude of fixed and variable costs, which makes it difficult, right? We sometimes tend to overquote, sometimes occasionally tend to underquote, and sometimes is a major reason for us losing the deal is the pricing itself. So what if we could have like a system that could, dynamically, of course, like with your input, understand what is being printed. Is it a book? Is it a brochure? Is it a medical box? Is it a pamphlet? Is it a wedding invitation? And now automatically help you price effectively. Not a lot of, I see printers spend 3 hours, 4 hours to give quotation. And this is very, very, very important time that could be utilized in much better ways. And how this process can be automated to great extent. But those are just some examples that I could think of as part of the smart decisions phase, which is the first step of usage of AI. The second step is how designing and how you can use various tools to help with enhanced and automated designing as such. And we'll talk about a few, we'll skim through with the interest of time as well. You have several options to help you. The first step with the first step of photography, creating animation, creating videos, and media as such, which is a large domain as such, right? You have tools which can effectively help you, for example, to go ahead and automatically solve your skin texture. Like someone's got some blemishes, some pimples, how you can use AI to automate them without manually using like a brush or like a healing tool, right? How you could easily not manually go ahead and change the shape of an eye or a ear or a nose or a mouth, and how artificial intelligence just gives you maybe a slider and it detects using face recognition, and you could automate this completely. I could just, looking at a picture, I detect what the background is. I could practically blur the background. I could maybe remove the background, replace the sky with a different color, and how all of this can be done easily. And to maybe if I have to get thin, right, I don't maybe have to work out, and how AI models can help me, become thin automatically. Well, that's just to give you some examples of the applications of AI. And there's so much more applications on designing I could think of, where this is specifically one area where artificial intelligence has crept in extensively. Designers use AI tools to, for example, upsample low resolution images, right? I can use it to decrease noise, increase sharpness. Sometimes I also can probably automatically solve for highlights, midtones, shadows, and so on. We've seen some tools help in retrieve some lost parts of images. It's a very age-old image of mine. It's a 20-year-old image that I probably had with my grandfather. And some parts of the images are affected, and how AI can automatically correct photos and parts of photos. These are, of course, learning models where the system is trained to fill using existing pixels and so on. You have numerous tools that help you. For example, we see people where, the existence of green screens and so much, but how AI models can automatically warp you, can give you the background, and now you're automatically sitting in Goa, even though you're sitting in your house in the lockdown period. Automatically removing backgrounds, image masking, auto sharpening, or all other options which you have. And right now, even changing the hair color, right? Of course, this is Katy Perry, a very famous singer, and this is not AI which is changing her hairstyle. This is her actually who's changed her hairstyle. But you could practically change your hairstyle and do any changes by selecting, where AI automatically selects the subject and starts reading at what the subject is, what object is, and automatically now you have Photoshop, for example, which auto selects the subject. You have options like select subject, object selection, which smartly gives you with just one click. I can refine hair, for example, and with this option like an object-aware refined model, I can automatically differentiate between the front subject and the background, even though they're of the same color. So it's not using pixel data to select the subject, but advanced AI models which know that, a nose shouldn't end here abruptly. Let's say someone's turned aside, it knows that the nose shouldn't end here, and it practically uses AI models to select the subject smartly. You have numerous tools to replace skies. You have filter options which can be applied automatically. You have controls where you can change the direction of the light. You don't have to go ahead and erase light on one side. You don't have to apply light on tools like After Effects or Maya or Photoshop for that matter. And how there are so much options available right now in tools to just with one click of a button move the light from left side to right side. You have options like content-aware colorize, where the systems have been trained. Of course, this is not a perfect model. It's still under training. It's a beta product in a lot of solutions. How looking at the sky, it knows that the sky should be blue in color. Looking at a specific building, it knows that building should be in this color, and blocks in those buildings are probably windows and they should be of specific colors. It looks at a road and knows that roads are always of this color. And how content-aware colorize makes converting black and white images to color images with just one click of a button. You have smart portraits, to my point, again, object recognition, face recognition, where you have certain areas. For example, now the tool gives you, as you can see, options on the right-hand side. I have options like anger, smile, eye, hair, and so on. And these are just super user-friendly, where AI automatically detects what the face is, what the facial objects are. And now it lets me transform my age. It lets me transform my pose. For example, as you can see, I've moved the face. I can change the color of the person. I can go ahead and change their facial features and so on, change the hair thickness and much more. You have capabilities and usages of AI used a lot in designing, where some e-commerce platforms you see where the shopper comes in and uploads like a pattern, and you could have your own t-shirt or like a sweater or your own jacket just printed out according to the pattern. Of course, this is not just using the same pattern, but also gives you more patterns like this, where AI is used extensively, right? It looks at a specific pattern and gives you more recommendations, very similar design, similar models that you're probably interested in. But that's kind of like on the designing side, I saw AI being utilized extensively. And this is a domain that will keep expanding in the next few years to great extents. It's going to make our lives so much easier in terms of designing, and how this could be a very automated part of printing. But moving over to something much more focused on in the print industry is how we move into pre-press setting, right? Of course, this slide, I wanted to be a lot more textual, not make it with a lot more visual images, because there are a few examples where we, of course, see some very small number of tools helping with the pre-press setting, but there are multiple options and multiple scopes in which this could be made better also. You already have automation and not AI, automation as part of pre-press setting extensively used. For example, I manually set up the thickness of the paper, and the arms of the paper gripper will change, right? And then it's now able to automatically hold the blanket, and the plate cylinder size automatically change for all the units. and I can practically type in the paper thickness, and now I can automate the density of the ink. And these are automation elements where I input a specific value and the system changes accordingly. It's not learning. It's not practically learning over a period of time, and it's not making itself better, right? And there are several ways in which AI is used and could be used as well. So the first one that we could think of was, of course, an AI model which uses sensors to read the printed image. Of course, the flow chain of the print industry, as you know, I'm not an expert in the industry, of course, and where the flow starts off from a designer. It could be a designer who's in-house, your own designer, or a designer coming from a third-party design agency. And of course, or it could be the customer himself who has a designer in-house. And they maybe give you like a PDF file that is to be printed. And as a printer, it's not my duty to go ahead and fully say proofread or correct the spelling mistakes, because my job is to print. They have their own designer, they've done their due diligence. But however, if the customer is not satisfied because of some big issue, maybe a character misspelling or so on, they're still going to blame us. How would a system that could read PDF files or while you're printing, or even before you start the printing, go ahead and look at these files and help you with checking for these misspellings? The designer is given the PDF file, a checker that basically understands and provides misspellings to prevent production losses, which happens a lot of times. I've seen this happen very commonly, right? Where they want to, that specific spelling mistake on the book cover or the first or the second page of the book is extremely important. A second use case that we could think of course, is how you could have automated quality check models, right? A quality control system, these are options available in existing machines, not on all machines. Some machines like Komori, Heidelberg already have these options available, where say you have like quality control systems, not this specific functionality, but some of the pre-press settings that I'll be talking about. But this is an AI model which could practically say check for any printing problems while printing is going on, because of course maybe I start the printing process, I do some automated color setting, which is automatically done based on some basic settings. We have like SIP3, SIP4, various options available, which looks at the preview image that is available and automatically does some ink profiling and so on. So how would a system, an AI system that could automatically and smartly set up the right ink profiling and automate this process for us, makes our life a lot more easier. AI could be used where as soon as I start printing and I pass this phase of manually setting ink and I automate this, how quality check models could come in, and any issues like scumming or splashes of the ink or variations in color, where I maybe as soon as I start printing, right, maybe I run 1,000 copies, it knows that because I've run so many copies, it understands automatically that maybe the 10th or the 20th copy is the right model that I need to assume. And now any variation from that model, it's the printer is immediately notified, because of course we're checking continuously to make sure that this doesn't happen, but manual processes always lead in about 50, 60, 70, 100 papers lost. And this increases cost efficiency, it saves time as well. And I'll probably quickly skim through just with the interest of time again, how AI models could also reduce preparation time. The system automatically looks at what the next job is in the pipeline, what the setting for ink and cleaning is required, and what level of cleaning is required, what level of ink resetting is required, and now automatically prioritizes that so that it doesn't have to restart and start afresh. It helps optimize the preset data according to the materials for your next job and according to the printing environment. There's also something called undercolor removal. Let's just say a suggestion that the system could give, an AI model, where you're using maybe 4 colors for a specific job, and how the system now suggests that you could make minor changes and it wouldn't make a big difference. Helps you with cost to a great extent, ink usage, where maybe I reduce the usage of various ink colors, the 4 colors or the 3 colors that are going to be used, the 4 colors, and primarily how it maybe even removes one of those 4 colors completely, right? And I could print the job with just 3 colors. And there are so much more use cases with color assistance and how autonomously the entire process could be made. But I'll stop there with respect to with pre-press setting. And we also have two more areas to quickly cover, where you've got workforce automation. Again, as I said, not an area where we see AI used extensively, and how practically down the future, how machines will start communicating with one another automatically and autonomously, make our lives a lot more easier. And to TV Geeta ma'am's point as well, right? How we'll probably concentrate on much better things, how to manage the systems and how to improve the process, and the manual or tedious or mundane tasks will be taken care of by machines. And then the last point, of course, is predictive maintenance. We right now see oil spills or where a specific paper is stuck in a certain area of the machine. We now have machines that tell us diagrammatically which area of the machine there's a problem, and then people, we probably call an electrician or a mechanic to come in and solve this problem. But how predictive maintenance could tell us what this problem is even before that occurs using sensors, and how we can save a lot of time. The machine is not going to go for a halt because you're being predictive, you're being preemptive, and all of this saves several time, money, and effort for all of us. But just to wrap things up, you can use AI for businesses in printing in several ways. You can make personalized experiences, you can enhance productivity, you can use AI to improve accuracy, enhance quality, detect errors. You can also use AI to automate workforce, used extensively already in designing and will still keep getting better. And also 3D printing, which is a growing domain, which was already seen in enormous benefits in manufacturing, medicine, construction, jewelry, and so on. But I hope that kind of like touched base on printing as well as AI, and everything I spoke was interesting. But thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Surya. That was great. So you started off beautifully with the workflow, and then you spoke about the printing pipeline and gave a mapping for how AI can be used for it. You spoke about pre-press and how image effects can be enhanced using AI. It quickly gave us a connect with, I think, Snapchat. Most of you should be aware of Snapchat and how you have the image effects and all being done. Adobe itself uses AI for image effects already. And there's another one. If people are not aware, I would like to suggest a website, thispersondoesnotexist.com. If you type that without a space in between, you will be able to see a website in which you only see the face of a person. And that photograph, as you see it, is not a photograph. It is automatically generated, AI generated image. So that's the power of AI today. And as printers, we need to know it's possible to generate photos naturally like a human being, and we should start preparing for how we have to get in touch with such technologies so that we are not left behind. And you also spoke to us about sensor-based usage and applications in printing. And finally, you terminated with predictive maintenance. Thank you very much. I think it would have reached many of us here. We will go on to the next speaker, Mr. Ashish Mittal, the director of Yugasa Software Labs, Haryana. He is here to talk to us about how printers can deploy AI for good in their current operations. Ashish Mittal is a graduate from GJU, Hisar. He studied printing technology in the year 2003. He got placed in Protect Machineries, but soon he started developing his software skills and started working in the software development companies. So prior to Yugasa, he has been holding a large number of prestigious responsibilities in global assignments for over 16 years in software development, and after which he started the Yugasa Software Labs. Yugasa makes mobile apps, e-commerce, AI, and ML with IoTs. So here we have a graduate in printing technology who shifted into computer science. Let us hear from him. Over to you, Ashish.
Thank you so much for that introduction, Madam Lakshmi. I'm glad to be part of such a prestigious platform. And I'll try my level best to make this session productive for everyone. and justify everyone's time, because I see a lot of dignitaries are present in the conference right now. It's my pleasure to talk about what we know and what we're working in artificial intelligence right now. So Kamal sir opened up this session with, throwing a question for everyone, which says, so he said, like, what will happen in the future? Will it be humans or it'll be the machines? So what I have analyzed so far during my short stint of working in AI is that nobody in the world can stop it. This will happen. So the question is not who will survive out of the two. The question is how should humans, responsibly hand over the low priority tasks to machines and keep a very good control on the presence of human race in the world. And then apart from this, what Surya just now shared was all about, the ecosystem which is growing automatically, and we've already started consuming AI, and we will continue to keep consuming it more. Though I liked the idea which Surya showed in one of the pictures where he showed body retouching features. So people, clumsy people like me will at least not be concerned about the photographs anymore. So I mean, half of the life has become easier, and I hope that the world will become even more comfortable as we keep adopting newer technologies like AI and machine learning. So my today's topic is more about like how can we. So there are two ways how AI is coming to us. One is that the ecosystem is growing, and since we all are part of that ecosystem, so we'll automatically start consuming AI on our own. We cannot stop that. And the second is that there are areas where we can decide whether we want to be part of that revolution, and can we adopt AI in our day-to-day operations? And if so, then what are the ways of doing it, and how easy or how difficult it is to adopt technology to get benefit out of it in your business, in your day-to-day operations or whatever. So I'll be focused more on adopting AI in your respective businesses to nurture better customer relationships, and how can you be better than your competition by adopting AI in a very simple way, and then how can you improve productivity with the help of introducing AI. And all these examples are out of our own experiences and the applications which we are doing for ourselves as a product, or we're doing for our customers across the globe. So the first one, and the one which is getting as a hot cake right now, is the chatbot. So what exactly is chatbot? It is an artificially intelligent and NLP-based software which can be integrated into any website, mobile app, Facebook page, WhatsApp, to communicate with your digital consumers, either for the sake of providing customer assistance or for the sake of generating new leads. Now, what does this NLP stands for? So almost a decade before, machines could actually understand languages like C, C++, Java, PHP. And human language, what we talk, is extremely complex. Now, let me just quote an example out here. Someone comes on a counter and says that I need black gloves. Now, he asks for only, he utters only two words, black gloves. Now, just imagine that the person behind the counter gives you black bag, and he says that he doesn't have black gloves, but he has got a black bag, so please take it up. So obviously, like, the consumer on the other side would say, like, what are you talking, man? I'm asking for black gloves and you're giving me black bag. Doesn't make sense. But alternatively, just imagine that the same shopkeeper would have given brown gloves, saying that I don't have a pair of black gloves, but I do have brown gloves. Do you want to give it a thought? So I mean, we will definitely give a thought of this, but just imagine that there are only two words, and artificial intelligence could actually make, the human could actually sense this, that black is not important, but the commodity is important. And that's how like brown glass made sense to me, but black bag did not. Now the ability, now this kind of complexity in the human communication is involved since ages, and we have never thought that we talk such complicated communication all the time, and we never feel bothered or difficult. Now the ability, so this communication which humans speak, that was coined as natural language, and the ability of machines to process this language, natural language, is called NLP. So now machines, by deploying intelligence, may that be artificial, leave that aside for now, the ability of machines to deploy intelligence and then understand the context of the communication with the help of NLP is what chatbots are doing right now. And most of the machines actually will work on this parameter, other than the other side of artificial intelligence, which is about predictive analysis and image recognition. So there are a lot of other researches going on, but then revolution through AI in communication is something which will reach out to every individual. And the simplest such thing which you have already started consuming is Alexa and Google Home Mini, which you have already started consuming. Anyways, so moving forward, what chatbot is not? So people actually, this is really confusing. So people think that a WhatsApp icon showing in right bottom corner of the website is probably a chatbot. No, it is not, because that actually simply redirects the user to the WhatsApp page, and your agent sitting behind will communicate. So it is actually man-to-man communication again. And you have already lost a user who was otherwise, after much difficulty, has landed on your website. And just because of that WhatsApp icon, you moved him away from your website. He's not, you have kept him deprived of knowing more about you. So, and then people generally, they think that probably the chat boxes or like icons from HubSpot or simple man-to-man chat icons there are also like chatbots. No, wherever machine is not coming in the scene and your human power, your support team has to sit and answer anything, that is not a chatbot. Means machine is not talking about your business. It is again a human talking. Then it is not chat box. People generally say that chatbot or chat box. So the real term is chatbot, which has been derived from the word robot. So machine talking about your business is actually a chatbot. And one thing which I have actually encountered a lot from people, they think that, probably you integrate chatbot in your business and then it'll start becoming intelligent about all the knowledge of the world. And suddenly you will ask him one day, where is Peru? So your chatbot will say that Peru is there in Europe. No, chatbots. So again, coming back to Kamal sir's question, whether humans or machines. So if we'll keep a control on the machines, they'll serve us. And that's where like the core thing comes in, which says that you will have to train the machine about your business so that it can talk sensibly about your business only. So that's in a nutshell, a chatbot and what it is not. So now coming to a little wider way as to how chatbots can help the businesses, irrespective of the business domain. And my next slide will actually give you a glimpse as to what kind of help can you seek out of a chatbot if you're a printing business. So chatbot can actually automate your communication of all kinds. Now it can be, somebody coming on your website and talking to a chat window there, and this chatbot talks all your services, your accolades, your achievements, your clients, your offerings, your special discounts, whatever. So that's one way of doing a communication. Now just imagine that somebody gives a call on your phone number, which may be a helpline, and instead of your agent pulling it up, or like you answering the call on your own, on a very small investment, a chatbot can be integrated, which can start taking these calls without bothering anyone, thus reducing the support and lead generation staff at your end, and still automating the process of that section. Now just imagine, I'm sure like every business, even ours, like we always face one problem, that the payments get stuck. So there are at times, customers to whom you'll have to keep knocking, saying that, some payment is still pending. Now, just imagine that the chatbot can be integrated into your backend operation, where probably just an Excel sheet, you just update that these many payments are pending from these clients whose phone numbers are these. And, a chatbot gives a call directly to that person and updates the status that he has already given a call to this person saying that your 40,000 rupees is still pending and the last due date is this. And you do not know, like probably the payments start coming in your bank account without knowing that somebody is working for you. Somebody comes on a Facebook page or maybe on your mobile app, wherever, and then, there is someone who's already talking about you 24/7, relentlessly advertising about yourself, giving answers sensibly is what the chatbot can do. So any such communication, at times, what happens is that, WhatsApp has become a major means of communication nowadays. People want you to be available there all the time. Now, just imagine that you're with your family and one of your very important clients have just pinged you up. And definitely, you're not always in the mood to talk to your customer. Just imagine a case where chatbot immediately swings into an action and gives a reply, again, sensibly. So the client delightment on the consistency, availability of the chatbot 24/7, that too probably talking in a vernacular language in which the customer is comfortable and you're still enjoying your private time with your family. So these kind of things, are very much possible nowadays. We're doing this day in, day out. A chatbot is implemented across a lot of businesses. We're doing almost 1 lakh communications per day across different sites. We have customers in India and outside India utilizing the benefit of this technology. And the beautiful fact is that one fact is that there are a lot of chatbots, around the world right now, but then you can start using this potency, using this technology with an investment as less as zero. So yes, our chatbot comes with zero investment. You don't have to even shed single penny out of your pocket, and you get a personal assistant on your website who can start talking intelligently on your business website. So that's one way. That's more in depth about chatbot. Now, let me just quickly give you examples as to how people have started using chatbots. Now, if you search for Cartlane on Google, you will see that Google says that Cartlane has got a website. So one way of doing it is that you click on Cartlane, then Cartlane throws all the rings, earrings, silver, and everything on your face and says, okay, boy, now you are inside our website. You're on your own. Search what you want to buy, and we'll be happy to serve you. Alternatively, Google has started giving significance to the chatbot. A person can just click on the chatbot without entering into the website, get on this interface. Now this interface starts talking intelligently over here. Probably the deal gets closed over here. You get money in your bank account, and that's it. So the ecosystem is supporting the chatbots just like that. Google has started ranking chatbots in their search results also. So that's one way of doing it. Second, I see that there are more than 125 people in the room right now, and half of the persons out here must be using Geo for sure. Now, have you ever gone to Geo's any help desk? So you try anything. You go for calling them. You go for chatting to them. You do any attempt to contact GeoCare, and you'll be landed on their chatbot. Now, this is one example how chatbot can be integrated with WhatsApp, so that probably in the coming times businesses will start advertising their WhatsApp numbers instead of telling that this is my website. They will just say that this is my WhatsApp number, and then when somebody reaches out to your WhatsApp number, chatbot will start talking to that person, will probably end up the deal out there, will get money for you, and that's it. So that's how the ecosystem is growing. WhatsApp has now come up with even more features which will enhance the experience of users when they'll be talking to chatbots. Integration on Facebook. So these are some of those big companies which have already started adopting it. So the idea is that we should see them now to start embracing the technology rather than after after 5 years, we think that, oh, Domino's is Domino's. So like now we will start following what Domino's is doing. Why can't we be the leaders when the technology is available on throwaway prices? Now Facebook, so Domino's, people probably do not go to their websites, but then they want to come on the Facebook page. So Domino's thought like when the audience is coming on my Facebook page, so let us start business with the chatbot out there. Now, it is not necessary if you do not have footfall on your Facebook page, you can probably go for WhatsApp chatbot. If you do have audience or footfall on your website, get started with a chatbot on your website. So kind of those things. Now that's a decision definitely at your end, but then this is how like the world is using it. So that's about one of our experience of developing the AI solutions, and we see that this is people are adopting it just like they're adopting it just like anything. Now I'll talk about yet another one where we are working with a startup in US where that business is about print on demand. Now let me just quickly show you how the video with this video, like how this application works. So somebody gets into the application, logs into it, and he wants to place an order for a t-shirt, say for example. And let me just quickly scroll through the video. So this is the t-shirt, and it has got certain sections in the t-shirt. Now the user may have his own patterns, coming back to fabric patterns, which Surya also talked about. So this is something which we are already doing for one of our customers. So this person now will pick up a pattern of his own choice from the image gallery he has, and then puts that pattern on this t-shirt and selects the section where he wants this particular pattern to fit in. He just clicks on that and the pattern gets selected there. Now, the point here is where the AI has been used. So sometimes, we feel that, oh, this is what is so big about it. Now, just imagine that we had a big image, but out of the whole t-shirt, we decided just that particular section, and my AI model could actually decide the contours. It could decide the boundaries on its own, and you adjusted the image as per your choice, and just with one click, you're not required to crop the image, adjust it, rotate it, nothing. You're just, putting up an image there. So people who are using Photoshop, they might be, correlating it with their experience as to how the world will see the ease of using these image modification applications in future, or like the pod applications will be so handy in coming futures that you just put an image there, select a section, and AI will decide where to put it in the best margins. So that's the second way wherein you can see the AI coming in our field in coming future. So then like some other I'll just wrap this up with one simple example. So we've been using this OCR since ages now, wherein we have text papers, and then we scan those or we use OCR, and then we get the digitized information out of it. Now I'm sure like every one of us has encountered this problem, that if there is a signature there, or if there is a complete handwritten paper there, so we either get the complete image, no text at all, or like partially the image, or if at all, this tries to convert the whole text, so the text is not making any sense. So now after deploying AI, the things are like when you're putting up something which is like handwritten, so AI will actually understand the real context. It will make the sentences. I still remember, the times when we were working, when we started our beginning of working on our chatbot, Yugasa bot. So I was, blessed with a baby boy at that time. So now he's 4, my son Shaurya. So when I used to come home, my wife used to tell that Shaurya today uttered a word. And I used to be, so happy, like, okay, Shaurya is learning. When I used to go to my office, my staff would tell me that today Yubo has made one complete whole sentence in English. So, I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed being at home and in office, seeing that two babies are growing together. So that's the kind of, intelligence which is happening now parallelly. And we have, soon we'll have the reason to compare humans with machines. But again, the control is most important. If we'll completely taming up the machine, so we'll be able to get the best juice out of them. but yes, this is what the future is. So at the end, I would just say that all of us are the leaders in this room right now. It is just that we have to embrace the technology the fastest to keep maintaining our leadership status. That's all. So thank you very much for your precious time, guys. I thoroughly enjoyed this session, and I'm reachable on contact@ugasa.com, so you can reach out to us. It'll be lovely to help you out for anything which is related to AI, specifically towards printing industry. Thank you very much for hearing me out.
Thank you, Ashish. That was great. You started off with a beautiful formula of what a chatbot is. What is NLP? What is AI? NLP and AI gives you a chatbot. Beautiful. And then beautiful difference between what a chatbot and a chat box is. Most of us get confused between chatbot and chat box. Very true. And then we did get a good idea of what a chatbot is, especially with a demo also. And finally, there's a pinch of note. We should always be ahead of AI and not allow AI to go beyond us. So I think printers would start planning to make their websites, or at least their apps, whatever they have, with a small chatbot or their WhatsApp, so that even in their absence, there will be a response going on to the customer. So thank you very much. Let's move on to the next speaker of the day, Mr. Balaji Loganathan, Managing Director and Co-founder, Spritel Software. Balaji has done his BE in Annamalai University and MS from RMIT, Melbourne. He is the founder of advanced industrial AI and automation solution called Surveillance.ai. He is a co-founder and MD of Spritel Software Chennai, Singapore and USA since 2008. He has developed custom web and mobile applications as Spritel in the areas of healthcare, logistics, analytics, and e-commerce. Balaji knows the impact of modern technology in factories, and he brings international exposure into his project executions. So we have him here today to talk about productivity and process flow monitoring using AI. Let's hear from Balaji. Over to you, Balaji.
Thank you so much for giving us an opportunity to present in this exciting webinar, and I feel privileged to be here. So I would like to share my screen here and show you certain videos and so on. So what we are going to showcase here is like how computer vision can be used for printing industry. Just to give you an heads up, computer vision helps us to basically identify what certain object is and how we can consume those objects in terms of using it for a specific operation. So some of you might be wondering whether such things exist already, and yes, it is. So many of you are unlocking your mobile phone using face recognition, fingerprint recognition, and so on. And those are the things that makes use of the computer vision and so on. So this entire short 15-minute session is about how computer vision along with the artificial intelligence can be used for the printing industry. So let me show a quick demo here. So please have a look at this video. What it basically does is the moment the object falls down from the package falls down from the forklift, it is able to identify it and say it as an object falling detection happened and so on. So now you can relate it to your industry, I mean to the printing industry, and see how this can be applied in your factories or manufacturing units and so on. So let me run through this quick demo again. So what here happening is the camera over there is able to capture some anomaly, some problem that happened, and be able to identify and raise it as an issue. So that's the first step. So let's go on and see the next demo. Here you can see a person is doing certain operations where he is doing some operations. Okay, it could be something related to printing or something like that. So what's happening here is the camera here is able to identify that person is not wearing the helmet, goggles, gloves, but the safety boots. So by this way, we will be able to precisely tell whether the safety in certain operations is happening or not. So all this are done using artificial intelligence, and these are not rocket science. You can easily do it with the latest technologies that are available in the market. Like there are lots of open source and other toolkits, those are available. And these days, many people coming out with the artificial intelligence capabilities and so on. So they will be able to do certain things. So let me go and showcase the next demo here. We are trying to address 4 key things in the industry, and I believe you will be able to identify or map it to your industry, where how we can make use of the improve the OEE, how we can improve the quality, how we can reduce the accidents, and then how we can provide or stop the uncontrolled access. So obviously, we as a product company have a product that can monitor all those things. So I'm not here to talk about our product or do any product promotions here. I'm here to talk about how we can make use of the products or the artificial intelligence. So let me quickly show you a few demos. Just what's happening here is this is a factory where you can see few people are okay, just a moment, sorry, just a moment. Okay, here there is a guy who is doing certain operation, and what's really happening here is he is wearing a helmet, the mask, the face mask, but the goggle is missing. Imagine that in your printing industry, some chemicals are being used, and those chemicals may spill over and causes some eye irritation or something like that. So we keep telling to the people that it's important you wear goggles when you do certain operations. So we can simply watch those kind of things and raise an alarm or an incident when a person is not wearing the goggle. And same applicable for the mask and other PPE compliance. So this is our office terrace, where we are just showcasing how we can measure the PPE compliance, like who is wearing the helmet, mask, jackets, and then take a measurement of who is wearing it and not, what time those things happen, and things and so on. So this is another example. Okay, this is not a direct example that would be relevant to the printing industry, but just wanted to show, like, if an accident is going to happen, then the camera, which is AI enabled, will be able to predict what's really happening and be able to raise an alarm and save life. Okay, so you can see it's already creating a warning that a possible accident is going to happen. So this is an example. And let's just imagine that this is your warehouse and you have a lot of printings ready. And if you see this scenario, the forklift accidentally hitting one of the important pillar of the warehouse, which happens, accident happens. So you can see this entire accident is happening. The good thing here is alert accident, so that this thing's raised. So I don't know how many of you are aware of this, but what I heard is the Chennai corporation, the hospitals in Chennai corporation are using computer vision to monitor the patient's activity. If someone is doing some abnormal or looking out for an oxygen in the ICU area or in the ward area, then they were able to detect those changes and make the healthcare workers rush to them and help. So these are all the real examples that are happening. So I just want the people here to think about the real things and how we can make use of the computer vision and apply AI. So this is another example. You can see in this factory, he is carrying some oil. It could be anything. So he is spilling that oil over the floor, and the camera is able to detect that spillage and raise an alarm. So what is called in industrial terms is near miss accident. So as long as we are able to avoid those near miss, we can save life, actually. So that's the core part that that you can think in your scenario. Another examples like the carton counting, in the loading and unloading area, and then you can this one will sound really like a micromanagement, and obviously the workers will hate it. But work is work. When we are at the work, we have to do the work. So let's see this example. You can see this area that this is showing as idle. So the moment that particular person opens the door and do particular operation, then it is spotted as working. You can see that the vision is identified as working. So this way we will be able to identify a particular worker productivity entire day and things and so on. So how we can avoid this from micromanagement? People will get annoyed if I being watched by a camera all the time, right? So instead of making him feel like I'm being watched, we have to appreciate them if they achieve their target. For example, if they have to produce like 110 packages per shift, and if they achieve that 110 packages, then we can give them like worker of the week, happy person of the month, and things and so on. So you can even visualize the face recognition and say like whether the person is smiling, or he is procrastinating during the work, or he is enjoying while doing his job. Then if we keep appreciating them, that's the best thing we can do to the workers. So that's the whole concept here. And again, this is another micromanagement. If you see people chit-chatting for long hours, then you can raise an alarm saying crowd violation detected, because in a way, during the working hours, you are allowed to talk for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but if it goes beyond 5-10 minutes, then it's not a good sign. It will affect the overall productivity. So this is our office reception, where we are just checking like who spend too much time while drinking coffee, and we can set time like maximum 10 minutes, 15 minutes is the coffee time. If it goes beyond the coffee time, then it's affect the productivity. So that's the thing. So I'm sure many of you would be crushing me or thinking me like Hitler or some other guy who is here to monitor and things like that, introducing something evil. No, that's not the true thing. This is all about productivity during the working hours and not beyond that. So that's the key concept here. So when we have to do certain job, we have to do certain job. That's the whole point here. So I would like to stop there, and considering the time, now I would like to go back and go to the presentation again. So the key thing here is, just a moment. Okay. The key thing here is, can small factories afford AI solution? The answer is yes, especially small printing units can afford AI, because these days you don't need expensive machines and things and so on. All you need is a reasonable camera, a reasonable computer that is not costing more than a lakh, or sometimes you can even do things with less than 50,000 rupees laptops and so on, and still be able to monitor what we just illustrated. So those are possible, and there are solutions that are available for even 15,000 rupees to 20,000 rupees. That comes like a box, and that box will have a camera built in. It's called Jetson Nano, and it's been built and sold by many companies around the world to monitor and so on. So what we can do here is we can monitor the SOP or the steps or the practices being followed by a particular person. And if we miss the steps, then it is a quality rejection, then it is a waste of money, then it's a reputation damage. So the whole thing about the workflow monitoring or the process monitoring here is, make sure you address the problem at the source level itself. When we address it at the source level, then you can avoid the entire wastage cycle. So you might have heard about some examples like Honda recalled their latest cars, or Maruti Swift recalled their car because they found some problem in the braking system or in the engine system and so on. So imagine the damage caused by such recalls. for the automotive industry, and you can compare it with the printing industry if something goes wrong. So how about we stop it in the source itself? How about we reduce the time in quality inspection? I mean, humans, if you ask the human to do the same thing again and again and again, he will feel fatigue, and he or she will feel fatigue, and at one point that person maybe will do the mistake because we are making him do the same thing again and again. So if we encourage that person by monitoring his work or her work and appreciating the work that done by the human at the right time, then that person will do the job more happily. So that's the whole concept here. Just a moment. So we have shown you some examples, like what are all the things we can do. So these are all other examples where you can identify the spillage detection. Imagine that you are under the crane and a big object is about to fall or something going wrong, and if you are able to create an alarm, raise an alarm immediately, then we can save life. And this is Corona time right now. So imagine in an hospital, if someone is desperately looking for an oxygen because that particular cylinder stopped supplying the oxygen, and if you are able to identify the differences or the signs that are shown by the patient and provide the oxygen at the right time, we can save life. Because it did happen to one of our colleague at around 2 a.m. in the morning, where everyone was sleeping. This particular person, oxygen supply got stopped. So after 30 minutes, his pulse was going down, and his oxygen level was also going down. Somehow he managed to go and knock the door, and his sister ran, called the nurse, then saved his life within that 5 minutes. Okay, so that crucial minute, his sister saved his life. But imagine if the person have to wave a hand or say like, I need some help or something like that, then it automatically triggers an alarm, inform to the healthcare workers, then save the life. We can save life like anything. So those are all the things that we can think about. So that's the overview I just wanted to give you. So I don't want to show anything about our product and to do any kind of promotion, but I just want you all to think what you can do. So ideally, I would like to, finally, I would like to just talk about this last slide. When it comes to any industry, the OEE is important. Overall equipment effectiveness or is important. So generally it's calculated with the 3 parameters involved, and this is how it is split down into various things. So if you are able to think and find out where I can address, then you can increase the productivity time, and eventually you can increase the revenue, and that's where the entire industry life cycle can enjoy the entire out throughput and so on. So that's something you can think about from your industry perspective. So having said this all, if anyone here has some beautiful idea in the printing industry, and if you are interested in talking to us, this is our email ID, ai@spritely.com. Spritely is our company, surveillance.ai is our product. So once again, thank you for an opportunity, and special thanks to Ms. Lakshmi Priya for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Balaji. That was a great session. Computer vision. Yes, we all have surveillance camera in our houses and in our company, but I don't think it is AI based. Now you have showed us that it can also have some AI, and which will help us in preventive maintenance, in incentive based increasing the productivity, wastage detection, and many other use cases. Wonderful. We actually miss Mr. Prafulla Sate from Technova, because he is the preventive maintenance person whom most of us know. He is somebody who will during every talk, he will try to thrust the importance of preventive maintenance and safety issues. So I think we should get him on board, and we have to do something on that. So Kamalji, can we go on to a question answer session?
Yes, ma'am.
Participants, can you, if you have any questions, can you ask? There was a question by Ms. Rachana.
Yes, I would like to know, like, it is the biggest challenge for the printers to bring out the exact colors. So how extent AI can help printers to get the exact color, like what we see is what we get?
Well, so that's definitely a great question. And then, like, since I worked on color management myself in Quark and after that in global graphics, so I know that this is really a very difficult science, especially when a lot of devices come in place. For example, you're taking a photograph from your Samsung mobile phone and then trying to work on it on your Lenovo iPad, or and then finally printing it on maybe an offset machine. So definitely, this is a big challenge right now, and AI. What I can think at this point of time, because definitely, the mystery is yet not solved, and companies are working on this. So the mapping. So what AI works on database. So the larger the database, the intelligent the application becomes. Now, just imagine that we have the database of all the color gamuts and the way they are perceived by different companies. So Lenovo thinks RGB and CMYK in one sense, while the same color sense is taken up in a different way by Samsung. CMYK same values will be different in view. Now, mapping these things by putting a lot of data in the backend and making it sure that if the information is coming from CMYK of Samsung and will be opened up on a Lenovo machine, so the mapping between the two should look or should be controlled this way. So intelligence of this kind can definitely be made, and I'm sure companies like Adobe or Global Graphics or Quark are already working on it. So life will definitely be easier in this sense. It is about having a lot of data at the back end and making the system understand that this was my first device, this was second, and this is the third one. So if the variation is coming, so that should be controlled. So this will definitely be improved. But then yes, the research is still going on. Hope I answered your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Next question is from Mr. Ashokan. He has asked, AI should actually help in taking less decisions, isn't it?
No, no. It was more like a statement that AI actually helps you to take this ordinary decisions. Let's assume we have an operator working on the printing press. Yeah, he has to do the job preparation. Yeah, he has to do the registration, color settings. He has to do the wash-ups and so on. So if you have the AI systems, the systems can do things on their own in the printing machine, for example. Yeah, this will help us to reduce the make ready time. That means we don't ask the operator to take these mundane decisions, but they do it automatically. I just wanted to make a statement, nothing else. Sir, I am working for Heidelberg, India. And if
Welcome,
you remember,
yeah, nice.
I made a presentation on Industry 4 and push to stop from Heidelberg, where we use all these AI technologies. So I was very interested to see what everyone is speaking about.
That's wonderful, sir. That's wonderful.
Yes, sir. Nandakumar, sir.
Yes, it's an open question to everyone. How long it will take AI in India to occupy in industry with the existing technology, even in it may be in printing or any other? How quick we are taking? Thank you.
I'll tell you the question. I think the answer is, one is that you have to think in AI. You means everyone who wants to apply it or think that it is applicable. So the thinking process is very important. Second, most of the monitoring type of application, interpretation, those can be done with the current computers. It doesn't need an interaction between computer and machine. Okay. When you need a lot of sensors and interaction with the computer, that is interaction between machine, computer, physical environment, then there needs to be a technological change. But otherwise, AI is not very, it's not a, it requires computing machine, which is very cheap today, not very costly. But it requires a mindset change, both from the industry who's going to use AI and from the AI experts who do not talk only in terms of algorithms, but talk more in, try to understand the domain. I think that's where the challenge is. Thank you.
Sir, please, Ashokan sir, please.
Yeah. It's already in place. AI is already in place in the computer, in our printing industry. Many of our equipments are already using AI. For example, you see, when you print and you have a powder at the end, right, to help you to dry faster. Now, how much powder should be applied is the operator's skill, correct, for a particular job. Now, over a period of time, the machine understands how much powder has been applied for a particular type of job, and he learns it himself. So from there on, he will apply according to this learning. This is artificial intelligence. Okay, so this part is already done. So similarly, when you do the wash-ups in a press, you know what wash-ups are you doing for what sequences. So the machine is learning and using it already. So I am saying that AI has already come into the system. We are only identifying which part is AI, which part is what as of now. I think it is already there.
Ashokan
Yeah.
sir, you also have this fire extinguishing water sprayer also in one of your Heidelberg machines. No, that's also AI based, I believe.
Yeah, correct.
I would like to add on one fact, and in fact, before I do that, so meeting with dignitaries like Ashokan sir, Nand sir, Madam Geeta. So like this platform has already become extremely rich. So thank you very much, and I'm overwhelmed of being part of it. So coming back to the question what Nand sir just now asked. So like when the computer was introduced to the world, it took us almost 2 decades. When mobile came in, it was much faster than that. Then internet came, it was still, it was even faster. So the span of adopting the technology has always reduced over the years. So 20 years to 10 years to 5 years, and now like AI has already touched all of us. We are already consuming it. We just don't know it probably. And like what Ashokan sir said, that a lot of the machines have already started carrying it in their basic infrastructure. So it is not far off that every individual will use it just like we're using mobile phones now. So you'll not require to wait for years. It'll be just a couple of more years that you will find it around you all the time.
Balaji, you wanted to say something.
So I was just resonating what Mr. Ashokan Share was saying about powder pouring. So for a foundry industry, metal pouring is very important. If you happen to pour the metal, which happens at the 1500 degrees Celsius in a wrong way, then it will lead to loss of wastage. So just having a camera and making sure the metal pours at the right angle saves them a lot of money actually. So the question asked by a person, how fast is Corona helped many students study artificial intelligence, machine learning, Python, and so on. So if we make a job post saying we need a AI developer, we are getting 1000 plus resumes. So 1000 resumes or people are equipped with some knowledge in AI to do the same in the industry. So it is to the industry who have to start experimenting this kind of things to let their industrial process life cycle more easier. So there are a lot of good things we are handling, or the use case we are handling in the industry. Many of them, like people like us, when we go and tell to the industry that these are all possible, they are coming up with a lot of suggestion. I want to measure this, I want to save this person, I want to do this, and so on. So it is it's in the students and entrepreneurs' hands to take it to the next stage. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a question from one of our senior printers, Mr. Kumarasamy from Tirupur.
Madam, good evening, madam.
Good evening, sir.
Actually, most of the printer is, small printers in and around India. Actually, if it is possible to use this AI for our printing press, if it is, yes, please explain. Some speaker, anyone.
Yeah, Balaji wants to say.
So, sir, it depends on your needs. You might have seen our demo where we have suggested a simple 20,000 rupees camera with an alarm system that can tell whether your particular job is being done in the right process or not. So that is one example where a small printing company, I believe, would be able to afford some things like that, some equipments like that. And what's happening these days is many instruments are coming in with inbuilt AI system. Like there was a demo by the past panelists showing how the 3D printing or the 4D printing is becoming much better and so on. So it is, sir, that's the target, because only if they able to reach the mass market, the industries will be able to make money. It is not meant for big players. It's not easier. So the mass market is being penetrated since last year, and it will reach to every industry very soon, sir.
Actually, we already installed cameras in all our factory, full-fledged. But how it works in AI? That is my question.
Can I answer that, Balaji?
Yes, please, ma'am.
Sir, cameras install panni, we have to catch those pictures and install a computer with an image processing software, which is not very costly, to find out what you want. See, for example, whatever you see with your eyes, you capture it and you decide, okay, there's something wrong here. There is some defect here. Like that, you have to, the camera will analyze, but for that you have to give the rules. When will there be a defect, you have to tell the system. Then it will automatically give an alarm saying that there is a defect. I'm just telling defect as an example. It could be a person going out and coming. Suddenly during one particular period, no one is supposed to go out and someone goes out. Then there is a problem. That will be told. But you can't keep watching the camera every minute, isn't it? So the computer will do the analysis, computer vision, someone was talking, no? One of the panelists was talking. So that vision, but what you want that vision to do, that you have to tell. What is important to you? That is where lies that. That is not the question. Whether it can be done or not is not the question. What you want it to do. There you're catching the camera, where the images are captured. Then a small computer with the analysis software should be. Is that okay? Does it?
Thank you. I will touch with experts.
Okay.
Thank you.
The next question is from Mr. Kirat Singh.
So I'll just go ahead with my question. So like, let's say there's an API to actually access a ML model, and I actually pay someone to actually develop a machine learning model to actually solve one of my business problems. And like, for simplicity purpose, let's assume it's a vanilla feed-forward neural network model, and the user does not have access to the, like for user, that is me, I don't have access to the architecture of the model. Like, how would I go about actually watermarking that ML model so that I can be certain that the developer doesn't sell it to someone else, because considering the fact that I don't have access to the architecture as such.
Balaji wants to say. Yes, Balaji.
So see, when you expose the API, you only expose certain operations. You are not exposing the model. So that's my understanding. So don't worry about it. So we expose a lot of APIs, and we actively monitor who is using it and which API token they are using it, and things and so on. So we can take this question offline. I hope you have our email ID. I can connect you to our CTO if you are interested to further drill down and protect your model.
The next question is from Mr. Kumarappan from Security Printing, Chennai.
Actually, this is the generic. Actually, we are having our own software team for developer also. We have our own developer. So as part of artificial intelligence is concerned, it requires a lot of support on real time. So as part of the printing industry is concerned, everybody will be in their own routine process. They will not have the real time to get in touch with any of the software companies or any of the developers, or it's not feasible to all to have own team of development, because we are into security printing. We have our own development team with us. But in general offset printing, so nobody will have in their office setup, they doesn't have any developer or software programmer, nothing will be available. So if you are interested to start using artificial intelligence, at least we have a trial version of some application has to be there in the market. Whether this kind of thing is available?
Yeah, Balaji, yes, Balaji. Yeah.
Sir, any software trial version is available, sir. So see, we are also a software company. So when we want something, we go and procure them out, get the trial version and so on. So our very humble advice is when you have the software team, please make use of them for the purpose that they are, and procure product from outside, because if you try to develop it on your own, it will be very expensive.
No, actually, I'm not saying that we are trying to develop. What my question is, yes, I am having little bit knowledge on the coding and whatever you are explaining, I am able to understand because I know little bit on that, but I am not an expert. But when it comes to the print industry, as most of the people there in session also, they doesn't aware of the software part, right? But the real-time support is required. If I am trying to get input, some whatever some modifications or whatever things has to be done, what is the real-time support which is available? Because if I am keying some input for a database, if I am getting an error, if it is a repeated error, then it will be okay. You will have you will have fixed some solution. You will have some message boxes already kept over there. But if it is a new error comes, so again we have to raise a ticket and you have to answer for the next day, or else you will available only for between 9 to 5 or selected timing only you will have the support. So in real time, we will not able to use that practically, because this is what the problem I am already facing with the available softwares in the market. That's why I'm saying, I know you are already aware of these also, but if it is comes to the print industry, if I am keying about some order, I am getting the order from the customer, I am entering to some artificial intelligence.
Yeah, sir. Sir, may I enter in?
Yeah, yes.
I understand your case. It's a real-time data and you say there is no history. Very true. To deal with real-time data, there is a type of AI also in it. Geeta ma'am, would you like to say? Let's, it'll go deep into the algorithm kind of one, but anyhow, Geeta ma'am will give you a reply for that.
See, if you're very particular about real time, it's very crucial for you. You can go for a self-correcting AI. There is something called autonomous correction. So you can go for that. You will have to ask the supplier whether he will be, who's giving you the software, whether he will be able to support it. Of course, the price will be attached.
Yeah, it will be there. I know, we know that. But the solution has to be we have to get on the real time, right?
Yeah, that will be available. The system will learn from its previous errors, not the same error.
Yeah.
Type of error. So for that, there is a self-correcting mode.
Yes.
Unsupervised learning.
More sophisticated algorithm.
It's available, ma'am?
I don't know how many vendors supply it, but it is doable. It is doable.
Okay, fine. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. The next question is from Dr. Arul Malish.
Good evening to one and all. My question is the role of AI research in printing the mind.
Do you want to work in AI or do you want to work in printing? Or where do you want your contribution to be?
The application is on printing.
Okay. Actually, one very nice area is blockchain, AI, and printing and IoT. For the previous speaker said, no, secured printing. For confidential matter printing, you can use IoT, blockchain, and that is one. Customization and personalization of printing. where AI will be a very good example. Actually personalization and customization seems to be for all industry, also for printing. Then automation of your paper to digitization, robo wrap, he said, no, RPA. That is another area. How do you take the old articles? How do you organize it? How do you print it? How do you make it digitally available? These are things that you can work on. 3 areas, I think. If you want to work in the factory, there are other areas, but these 3 are very faculty-oriented research is possible.
I think we'll choose customization and personalization, ma'am. We are into it in certain level. She's my fellow faculty. Thank you, ma'am. The next question is Mr. Sushil Kumar. CCTV special series or normal camera would suffice, he's asking.
Actually, it is a question for Balaji.
Thank you.
Can you unmute? He's just asking, can this AI is applicable for the existing camera he has, or for this he has to purchase a new set of cameras? Special cameras.
Actually, Miss Geeta ma'am already answered it. Like we have to take the CCTV feed, supply it to a computer, and let that computer do the processing. That's one option. Option 2 is there are some CCTV that comes with the inbuilt detection. So you might have already seen intrusion detection cameras, fault detection cameras that are used to check whether the elderly people being at home, if they happen to fall down, then it will raise an alarm that they fell down and things and so on. So many varieties are available, sir, based on your use case.
I think he was asking whether he can use this existing camera, which you have also answered.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's how we are. That's all about the product we are. Because if we go and insist to industry buy something big, they won't. It will take some time. So we make use of the existing CCTV, like connect their output to our computer and do the magic. So that's how we are. Yes.
Balaji.
Yes.
Actually, I think even the gentleman before this asked the same question or similar question. I missed out because of network problem. See, the camera is just the eye. So it is capturing the data. But the processing, the brain is the software behind it. So it's not only the camera which you have installed, which is important. It is also the processing. What I should do if an X activity happens and how do I handle that? So the software behind it is the AI, and it learns over a period of time that this activity happens, then this is my reaction to it. So, that I think is missing, and people are asking the same questions, I think. Camera is okay. Camera is only the capturing of data, but the processing of the data is in the computers or the softwares which is behind this. Isn't it, Balaji?
Yes, sir, you are right, sir. So I think I didn't explain properly. So
But I think I explained that. I explained that when they said
yes.
I had already explained it. Yeah. Ashok Kumar sir, I did explain it. I just wanted to add one thing. The human being taking the action or the process data itself can be made to operate another machine which does the correction. Or for example, if you want to see something, you want to do some activity, you want to on a switch, that's what is now coming up as cyber physical systems. So that also can be. It depends on what level of AI and connectivity you want there. Okay.
K. Siva Prakash is there. He is asking some questions. Mr. K. Siva Prakash.
Hello. Good evening. This is Siva Prakash from Kumaraswamy Printing Press, Tirupur. Actually, due to this large data in internet, now internet becomes the people mass nowadays. There is a large gap between the printer manufacturing the product and the customer requirement. I mean to say that lot of customers are searching their products online, and printers are searching for their potential customer. But there is a large gap between these two, because your printer manufacturing tag cannot manufacture a box or some other different products for different items. So if a customer keep on searching for udbati box, say udbati box or soap box, it from different locations. I mean, there are whether we can locate those customers so that it directly goes to the shoe boxes manufacturer. So it will be helpful for the printing industry directly, so that that customer operate easily from get a potential customer. I think so. Whether it is possible.
Yes. So no. So this is a very business-oriented question, and this is great that Siva has asked this question. So Siva, this is no big science. This is happening worldwide now.
Yes, sir.
So what you can do is, like, if you do have a set of customers already with you, so you can leverage the benefit of Facebook ads or Google ads. So if I talk specifically about Facebook ads, for example, so you just upload the data of your existing customers to Facebook, and then also create some creatives about your offerings. And then you just give, peanuts to Facebook, telling that, you want to market this product, and this is the kind of client base I'm looking at. And there is an option which says lookalike audience. So when you switch that on, so the AI function of Facebook works, and you never know how many people are watching that advertisement. But one thing is very much sure, that only the targeted audience will get to see your advertisement, and they'll reach out to you. And Siva, this is not limited to only the location. You can even decide the size of the business, the age of the person, the demography, and even the gender of the person. So you just, make these combinations there as your settings. Put your creatives of the offers you're doing. So for example, if you do mono cartons, or you do, some other kind of product, you just pitch that up, and, so every model actually works on its learning. So definitely it will take a time of approximately 30 odd days to learn what you're targeting and what you're offering. Once that gets matched, you will, I can, out of my own experience, I can give you guarantee, you will be overwhelmed with the kind of clientele you will start getting. I mean, you will say, no, enough is enough. I just cannot handle more clients.
Thank you, sir. Sir, one more doubt. You were telling about from the printer point of view, we should upload the things so that the customer we can get the data. My thing is from the customer point of view, there are so many customers keep on searching for the products, so that we can pull out those data, and we can figure out what products they want, and we can change our own model according to that. Whether we can do with some softwares, AI softwares installed here in our printing industry, we can do that.
Siva, you don't need any software. Believe me, what you're asking is happening day in, day out, and millions of businesses are already getting benefit out of it. Now, what you're talking now is actually a combination of Google ads and Facebook ads. That's what we are doing day in, day out for our business. What happens is that, so there are two kinds of advertisements. What is the difference between Google ads and Facebook ads is that in Google ads, people search what they need, and then you show in the result. Alternatively, in Facebook ad, people are not searching you, but you suddenly come in front of their eyes, and they just decide to buy your product. Okay, now the beauty is that you run your Google ad campaign, first of all, telling what you're selling. And again, Google will learn it, and they learn it really beautiful. So once they will learn it, people will start reaching out to you. Now, for example, 100 people reached out to you, and only 10 of them actually contacted you. What happened to those 90? Those 90 can be remarketed with the help of Facebook ads. So now when they will be on Facebook, there is a pipeline possible wherein you connect your Google AdWords audiences on Facebook, so that whenever they go somewhere on Facebook and your Facebook ad is going on, they'll see you there, and probably they'll get in touch with you. So this is a combination. This is happening. I mean, you don't need any extra software, nothing. It is, and again, repeating myself, there's no dearth of finding the clients. You will not require to find the customer. Customers will automatically find you.
Yeah, Balaji wanted to add something in it. Yes, Balaji.
Sir, there is to add to what Ashish said. Yes, it's very much available, and there are some camera-based solutions as well that can give you the heat map of where that particular person is touching. For example, if I keep going and touching the dairy milk often, then it generates the heat map that this is where the customer is going often and picking certain things. so you can improve that face value section in that particular retail shop or in the particular printing section, then it's improve your business. So those are available, sir.
Thank you. We have another question from Mrs. Ambika.
Good evening, ma'am. My question is, from students' point of view, as the printing students, what are the resources available for them so that they could apply AI in different fields? Like, I'm asking in a view of learning point of view.
Study
So,
material.
as a student, from the basics, what are the resources available for them right now, ma'am?
Balaji wants to say, yes.
Ms. Ambika, there is lots of material available in the internet. Like Osis was mentioning, Google was promoting a lot for people to learn artificial intelligence, so that it's specifically promoting young kids as well to learn the AI, because they know that it is that AI that's going to rule the world for the next couple of years for good. Let's assume for good. So those are available, and there are several materials available in YouTube and free materials available in Udemy and other areas where you can learn. And there are several curations that are kept for people to learn from one stage to another stage and so on. And if you are interested, you can also approach us via email if you are interested in doing some research work with us. So those kind of supports also many companies do, because it is students who can help the industries to take us to the next stage, because many industries are facing the right talent to do certain things. So if you have some knowledge that you can leverage with us, then you can do it via internships and so on. So there are many potentials and opportunities out there for students, Ambika. I hope I answered your question.
I just have something to add. Lakshmi Priya, can I?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Whatever.
See, as Balaji said, there is too much material available, too much. Okay. But the problem is, it is more of a computer science oriented approach. That is, it has algorithms and things like that. So I don't know whether you have a course like that in Avinashi. Why don't you start a course called AI for printing? And then send those students to his company to do internship. I think you can be I can help you with it if you want. No
Yes.
problem.
Yes.
You have because it's an in thing today, and it would be the first time, I think, AI for printing. Because there's enough scope for vision, there's enough scope for a lot of things, CPS also. So that angle of AI, maybe 1 or 2 units on the basics of AI machine learning, whatever you want to call it. Probably call it AI because that's more fashionable. It's up to you. Okay.
Yes.
And
We are present.
then probably whoever asked this question, who she, I forgot her name.
Ambika.
Ambika and all can contribute to what you think a printing student should know about AI, and those basics with some application thrown in. With some use cases can be supplied by your 3 panelists.
Thank you, ma'am. May I call Mr. Mugi? Sir, would you like to share some views? Mr. Mugi is the president from Indonesia.
Thank you, Professor Lakshmi. It's an honor, and I'm glad to be invited to attend this web seminar. It's give me more new knowledge about the artificial intelligence. Before, what I know, artificial intelligence is used for the products, for the printed product, and now can use for the system. It's good, and thanks for Mr. Kamal Chopra for having me here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. May I have the privilege to introduce Mr. Harjinder Singh, the Honorary Treasurer of AIFMP. He is the Director of Swastika Printwell India Private Limited, and the various positions that he has held so far, that's a very long list. Chairman, International Relations AIFMP, Lucknow Printers Association Honorary General Secretary. He's been in the BIS, Bureau of Indian Standards, Associated Chamber of Commerce and Industries, PAMEX, and more. So let us hear from Sir the vote of thanks of the day. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Lakshmi Priyaji, for introducing me. Well, I'd like to say that a decade ago, AI and machine learning were not really understood by the common people. And today, we are all using it in our daily lives without even knowing it, without even knowing about it. So in short, as mentioned by the speakers, that AI can be used in print industry, as we have listened to all the speakers today and understood, to optimize the use of printing machines and also to enhance quality and reduce the wastage. So the printers need to identify areas where they may be able to utilize the AI for optimizing their automation processes within their printing industries. The message is quite clear from all the speakers today that overall the printers need to adopt AI in their printing units and become future ready before it's definitely too late. So I wish to thank the chief guest, Dr. TV Geeta ji, and the speakers of AI in print business, Mr. Surya Ramanathan ji, Mr. Ashish Mittal ji, Mr. Balaji D. Loganathan ji, and all the print participants, students, and faculties who have joined this session, and above all, the moderator of this session, Professor Dr. TKS Lakshmi Priyaji. I think that she is one of the best moderator who would have moderated this particular session on AI. And on behalf of the President AIFMP, Professor Kamal Chopra ji, HGS AIFMP, Mr. G. N. Vishkumar ji, all the office bearers of AIFMP and GC members of AIFMP, I thank each and every one of you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for attending. And at the end, I would like to wish you health and keep safe and follow the government norms. That is the only solution to keep this virus away. But thank you very much once again.